Welcome, fourth graders, to your reading activity for today. We just read or listened to Chapter 8 in Writing Freedom. Man, what a good chapter that was. Super exciting. There were a few points where I even found myself kind of holding my breath. So that tells me that the author did an excellent job allowing me to visualize as I read. I was really creating a movie in my mind, which made me feel a little bit like I was right there with Charlotte having the same experience. Great stuff. Okay, so to get down to what your activity is for today, it's a little bit of the same thing we've been doing. Remember, we are noticing and noting signposts as we read. So here is a visual to remind you of the different signposts. And when you pull up the attached template, your job is going to be to highlight at least 2 signposts that you found in Chapter 8. And don't forget to label them with a text box so we know which signpost you think matches that text you highlighted. Okay, now moving on. Before I let you go to do your highlighting of those signposts, I'm going to introduce to you something new that we haven't talked about yet. It is a literary element called the turning point. Some people know it as the climax in a story. Before we can determine what the turning point in writing freedom is, we need to understand what the definition of a turning point is. So that's what I'm going to introduce to you next. The turning point is the most dramatic and important event in the whole book because it will change the way the story is going to go. It will also reveal the author's message. So now that we know what the turning point is, we can ask ourselves this question: what is the turning point in writing freedom? And I'll give you a little hint. It happened in Chapter 8. So I would like everybody to pause here and give yourself an opportunity to think about what happened in Chapter 8 and see if you can determine what the turning point in writing freedom is. Okay, I hope you gave yourself an opportunity to try and think of it on your own before I reveal. Okay, before I go on to the next slide to determine the turning point, drum roll, please. The turning point in our book is when Charlotte gets the coach across the bridge in the storm despite having a blind eye. Were you able to pick it out on your own? If not, don't get discouraged. There were so many exciting things that happened in that chapter. So now that we know the turning point in this story, we will spend some time in the near future talking about how we think that the plot will change and trying to identify the author's message. So now you will move on to the attached template and get ready to highlight those signposts. Remember, at least 2. Thanks for your attention today, fourth graders. You've got this. I believe in you. Until next time.